All right. Well, I love these ensemble shows where we have so many great contributors and commentators coming on to offer different takes on a variety of topics. I love every show, but these shows are fun because they are a little different. And to kick off our parade of thoughtful analysts tonight is the great Jason Köhne. And by the way, I mean, Jason, longtime friend, but Jason also, as he is kicking off our last show of the year, he kicked off our conference in South Carolina earlier this year, and he closed it. So that was very special because, to me, Jason, our 20th anniversary conference last year, very special. What a milestone. But this year, what we did there with the Will to Power conference was really transformative and groundbreaking, and you were a big part of that. You're a big part of the show tonight. You're a big part of a lot of things, and I want to thank you for that and wish you a belated Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year a mite early.
Well, a big Merry Christmas, good Yule, Happy New Year to all of you. Yeah, that was one of the things I was going to list about 2025 that was absolutely spectacular, the Will Power Conference, and being able to spend time with the great heroes down there and the great James Edwards. And God bless you. Thank you so much for bringing that together and bringing all of those powerful personalities, movers and shakers together to change the world in service to white well-being. So 2025, what a glorious year. I don't know if you would like me to just jump right into some of the victories we've had over the past year. But
Jason, I would just say just to put the ball on the tee and let you knock it into the
kick it through the goalpost.
So the objective tonight is to have each of our contributors really take it in any direction they want with their own personal work and advocacy, or in widescreen, looking at highlights for our people in 2025, or, if necessary, lowlights or things that we could improve on. Really, the current state of white well-being we'll get into with Jason, but really anything that is sort of looking back on the year that was and looking ahead to the year to come. And, of course, your own work, Jason. Take it away and go.
Well, thank you for that. I think probably what I'll do is I'll focus mainly on what we do here, because a lot of people could speak to Donald Trump and Johnson and so much that's been happening over the course of the year. And the good and the bad. There's been a lot of good. I've been really happy with tweets from ICE, like they did on Christmas, Merry Christmas, and it was ICE plane leaving the country in a snowstorm, taking away the interlopers, the anti-white interlopers that have come into the country, robbing us of our destiny, our peace, our harmony, and transforming our societies from one that reflects our biosphere, Western civilization, to something that reflects theirs, injurious to us, whether they are good people and law-abiding, tax-paying, doesn't matter, injurious to us, transforming the place in which we live. But the year was, for us in this community, tremendously successful. And we keep just marching ahead. Each year is literally better, observably better. We, every Sunday, celebrate our victories that are incremental victories in the service of our strategy that we articulate and then work on throughout the course of every single week. So every single week we have a success and a failure metric that we're measuring things by. Over the course of this past year, we have a brand new show. It's called The Shade Tree, and one of our new leaders, the Tree Godfather, started that, and he is in the U.S., and another individual, another gentleman, Hans in South Africa, they run that at 2 p.m. every single day on X, and it's been bringing in a bunch of new wonderful people. They're doing a magnificent job, so really happy with that. I started the Rebel Roundtable, which takes place on Wednesdays after my normal stream on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. Bring people in there, give them an opportunity to talk, share their views, and help them grow in service to white well-being with the Go Free Dialogic. We have Go Free been translated into Dutch and Norwegian this past year, and we're very excited about that, so that our brothers and sisters can read in their native tongue in those countries. And big salutes to everybody who worked on that. We brought in huge content creators this week, like Lazi B down in Australia. She's joined the community and doing an amazing job. We've reached the political party. I think it's called Australia First in Australia. The great Lunder Down Under in Australia has gotten to them with Go Free, and they've fully embraced Go Free. They've looked through it, and they say it absolutely represents the work they do and the way that they feel about our people and the country. We have just dozens and dozens and dozens over the course of this year, brand new testimonials of people who have transformed their lives in wonderful ways by applying the Go Free dialogic in their lives, transforming their thinking and the views of those around them, healing and mending relationships with families, getting promotions at jobs. If you're not improving the lives of white people, then you're not really doing anything. If the white race is just an abstraction for you, you're not really accomplishing anything. But IRL activism for Go Free in 11 different Western countries over the course of this year, including down in South Africa. And we have communicated, and that's one of the strategies, one of the things we implement is the promulgation of these concepts that empower people, to content creators who are large and in charge. They're moral enough to adopt the lexicon, and they are positioned with large audiences to communicate and legitimize, and this is something we work on every single week and have had great successes. This past year, it's been truly amazing. People like Benny Johnson, we had him using anti-whiteism already, but we got him now using white erasure, and some of the other concepts. Gavin McGinnis coming in toward the end of the year, absolutely astonishing, even using some of our exact argumentation, using anti-white, anti-whiteism, white erasure. Real Femme Sapien, Connor Tomlinson, as well. Styx Hexenhammer dedicated an entire show to talking about anti-whiteism. Gabon in Ireland also has picked up the lexicon and is using it. Smash JT, an enormous gamer channel. We were able to communicate the lexicon to him, and he's using black conservative perspective as well, using anti-white, anti-whiteism, white erasure, anti-white narrative. Some of the really big ones are Freddie Gray on The Spectator, we now have using the concepts. Heather McDonald of world-renowned fame, a fellow at the Manhattan Institute, she has come in just absolutely spectacularly using anti-white, anti-whiteism, white erasure, anti-white narrative. We even have people using the lexicon that are not friends of ours, people like Fuentes, who just recently started using anti-whiteism. And the best part about that is that years ago, we have the video of him ridiculing me personally for these words, anti-white, anti-whiteism, white erasure, calling me the anti-white guy, and calling these words magic words, and no one would ever use them, but I.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, Jason.
Well,
absolutely.
Keith, to your point on this, Jason, and if I may interject here, people don't believe that Jason's community is not responsible for some of these people using these exact words. It reminds me of some years ago, Jason, when social media was still nascent. Bob Whitaker had this thing he called the Bugs, Bob's Underground Graduates Seminar, but it was the first time that I ever saw a collective sort of mobilized and organized in the people who followed him. Of course, Bob died several years ago now, many years ago now. But it was the first time I ever saw on social media people just go and take a talking point and just take it. Your community does that as effectively and probably more so than anybody we feature on this program. Your community is very active in reaching out to other influencers and taking these talking points that you've basically patented and what's the word I'm looking for? You started. You came up with this lexicon. Yeah, right. And they do it very well. I see it all the time.
Well, thank you so much. And that's what, at the beginning of every week, we set our goals. And at the end of every week, we celebrate. And some weeks, we'll reach as many as 20, 30, 40 different content creators and achieve millions on some weeks of views of these specific concepts and the arguments that we wield. So we measure it all, we plan it all, we talk about it all, and we keep the receipts. And every Sunday, 5 p.m., we cover that. We had a German content creator, a member of the community, Marie Curie. She reached out to a funding company in Germany with Go Free, and they fully embraced it. That we shared the emails that she got back from them, that they were completely in tune with what was shared in Go Free, and they wanted to adopt it and use it in their verbiage and their funding company. We had
Jason,
an American, Azimuth Clark.
Hold on right there, Jason. We got to take... Sorry, my friend. We got to take a quick break. I hear the music. We'll come back. We'll talk more about the state of white well-being in 2025 and where it's trending to go in the coming year with Jason Köhne. Stay tuned. And everybody else that we feature year in and year out with new guests added every year, to be sure, for good measure. But nowhiteguilt.org is the website. You can be welcomed to White Well-Being there. Jason has a dedicated, organized, and committed community there that goes out and takes his talking points. He really did sort of engineer this new lexicon, and when you see people using it, it's hey, credit is not always given where it's due, like at Keith's favorite furniture outlet, but
Right.
but we know, and Jason knows. And so, Jason, I would ask you this, and that is, you've been a part of this collective for a long, long time. Would you say that the state of white well-being is better tonight on December the 27th, 2025, than it has been at any point in your life as an activist? Or is that being a little bit too bullish?
No, absolutely. It's not being too bullish. It is infinitely better than it has been ever in our lives. People are using the concepts. They're able to defend our positions from a moral hill and defeat the opposition. And it's happening all over the world. It's happening in all English-speaking countries, and we have it in the non-English speaking Western countries as well, where they're able to use these concepts and arguments. Without question, the white race has been filled with angst for a long time, but we can see that angst isn't enough. They need to be empowered, or we just end up like our major cities. We end up like Rhodesia. We end up like our once great country of South Africa. But everything is changing, and I'm really excited. I want to thank you and Keith, and I want to thank everyone in your audience that has been in service to the well-being of a Western kind in one fashion or another over the course of their tenure, whatever that might be. Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. God bless you for your service, and let's keep marching forward.
While you're saying that, I appreciate you saying that. You know how much I love my audience. I consider them to be, they are family. I don't consider them to be, they are family. We all think that here at the Edwards home, my wife, but I don't know why. When you were talking just now, for some reason, my mind just flashed back, just a snapshot of you and I don't even remember what year it was, but it was before you started your work. I mean, it was before you started your work as we know it now. I mean, you have been, if anybody's read your books, you've been a part of this since you were a kid, a very young boy. But in terms of starting your show and everything you're doing now, I remember you and I sitting at a hotel in Baltimore, sitting in the lobby, and you and I at the table, just sitting there talking, and it was still really, there was so many years ago and so much work that has been done since then. And that's one of the things when you have these retrospective shows and you reunite with old friends, even for a few minutes on a night like this, our last show of the year. Man, we've been together for a long time, and I can say that about a lot of people, but I'm happy to be able to say it about you, and I've appreciated the entire ride.
As have I, brother. So God bless you for that. Yeah, indeed. I can remember all of those different times hanging out together, talking about the challenges we face as a people and how we're going to rectify those challenges, recapture our destiny. And it's been a wild ride. We are lucky to be able to live these lives. As bad as some of it is, we're really lucky to be able to live these lives and fight for our people, such a glorious people, and ensure that there will be the likes of our greatest again. And there will be. I mean, we have just over the past 4 weeks, 3 weeks in a row, Elon Musk himself retweeting and liking members of this community, even going so far as to say himself, no white guilt. And so this is communicated. Yes. We're making it happen day by day, inch by inch, the way the white man gets it done. And we use a scientific method, and we chart and measure our activity and successes, and we improve upon that every single year. Homeless Bear is a great example of a guy, normal guy, has took the Go Free Dialogic into his workplace. He was a star employee at the place he works at. He was invited to a national conference for the star employees of the company, just a couple hundred people from the entire company. They were going to be trained for higher positions within the company. Over the course of this conference, they were subjected to an hour-long of anti-white obedience training, and they were given a form that they could write anonymous feedback on about the training. He decided to give his name and number, used the Go Free Dialogic, complained about the anti-whiteism in the training, and said that he offered himself to help them refurbish it so that it wouldn't be anti-white in the future. He ended up a couple days later getting a call back from the guy who administered the teaching, the education, and said that he met with the executives of the company, and they were very concerned that any of it was anti-white. They didn't want any anti-whiteism in it, and they invited him to help them refurbish the content and change this content so that it would not be anti-white moving forward. These are colossal victories. And I know a lot of people, they don't really understand. We have to actually, a member of the community asked Grok 4.1 what it thinks of Go Free, and Grok wrote this: NoWhiteGuilt.org crystallizes a mimetic counter framework against hegemonic anti-white narratives, leveraging Go Free as a dialectical toolkit for cognitive liberation. It dissects retributive justice as a zero-sum psyop, eroding Western telos, empowering users via game-theoretic discourse strategies. An example is reframing guilt as engineered submission, cool for its synthesis of evo-psych resilience, cultural semiotics, and viral epistemology, fostering autopoietic white well-being amid civilizational entropy, a Promethean hack on collective consciousness. So that's to sum it up from Elon Musk's Grok 4.1, what that thinks of Go Free and how it works and effectuates outcomes that we want, victories that we need if we're going to be able to arrest our victimization and recapture our destiny. We're looking forward to 2026, having wonderful victories with you all and your audience, everybody moving forward with the building upon the successes we have as our ancestors have throughout history. And we're going to have another video game. Westman is being improved and is available now, but improvement will be available in 26, available on Steam. It's called Westman. We have a new webzine for print as well in 26, also called Westman, that will be available. Go Free will be translated into French and German in 2026 as well. So very excited about moving forward into 2026 and continuing to achieve the victories that we have.
Let me add something to it. We have talk in the hypothetical many times, but we need to talk about the practical as well. I was alarmed to read recently that only 20% of medical students now are white males. It used to be 80% plus.
That can't be true.
Well, no, that's the truth. I read it in a
There's no
reputable.
Maybe at a certain institution.
It's one of our daily. Well, there is a way around it. See, this is the problem. I know a individual, for example, that got a unsolicited invitation to attend Harvard Medical School, which they rescinded when they found out he was
If you'd have said Vanderbilt,
white.
I was going to know it was going to be you.
No, but listen, this is important now, okay? Basically, that person tried to get into State U at the particular state he lived in twice and was put on the waiting list that didn't get in. That shows you the type of world we live in, where you have the same resume, and if you're black, you get a free ride to Harvard Medical School, and if you are white, you don't even get into State U. But we need to tell people there are alternatives. For example, if you want to be a practicing doctor, you don't have to go the MD route. You can go to osteopath school and become a DO. Osteopathy or osteopaths have to take osteopathy boards and medical boards. They get into the same intern programs, and they can become doctors.
Well, nurse practitioners do about as well, and they don't have to go through as many rigors.
I know, but this is, you are the functional equivalent of an MD. A DO is, that they're in the same intern programs and everything. We need to let our people know some practical ways to improve their lot.
There's the music.
Professionally and economically.
We will, we'll put a pin in that. And Keith, that's a great observation. We'll continue to flesh that out. Jason, 10 seconds, your contact information. NoWhiteGuilt.org. On Twitter, where?
NoWhiteGuilt NWG. Check us out.